Bluey is an Australian show that features a family of 4, with Bluey, her mom and dad, and her sister Bingo. And yes, in case you didn't know, Bluey is a girl.
I'm a girl!
Her parents, better than Chilla, are blue and red healers. The show gained a massive fan base from all ages and different groups, from actual preschoolers, to parents, to unemployed single adults. Now if you're thinking that this is some kind of childish happy preschool show that thinks we did it in the end, you're dead wrong. This is not your average Cocomelon Baby Shark karaoke marathon. The show, to this day, is viral among adults, for a reason.
Are these all your children? Wow, you must have learned a thing or two. I have, and there's something you need to know. What? You're doing great.
The show has gained massive popularity and became a global phenomenon, especially during and after the pandemic. You know, the time where people mask their faces, have feelings. In 2024, Bluey became the most streamed entertainment title in the United States, which is a massive achievement, considering the show is Australian. It gained an incredible 55.62 billion minutes watched on Disney+, surpassing even long-running adult shows like Grey's Anatomy and Family Guy. And this show has totally crushed awards around the world. As of today, 23 wins entered in nominations.
And the BAFTA goes to Bluey.
Bluey.
Bluey!
This is the 6th consecutive actor win for the show in this category.
Everyone's raving about how charming it is and how perfectly it nails what childhood is really like. And like every successful cartoons, plushies and t-shirts are to be expected. Toys, books, and even a massive super successful live show with real life people. But unfortunately, like every other masterpiece, Bluey has inspired copies.
What do you call a dinosaur with bad eyesight? Do you think he saw us?
Nice and easy. I'm okay.
When something rises in popularity, others often get a little too inspired in order to jump in and grab their cash as well. It's a hilarious yet miserable trend, and sadly, not showing any signs of stopping until the show is no longer popular. These copies often lack the same depth and originality, proving how hard it is to replicate true genuine creativity. If you're following Bluey for a while, you might also have heard whatever this is. The show is the American conservative version of Bluey, or at least that's what the internet thinks. The father is a prominent figure in the show who usually teaches the lesson for the episode. As for the design, let's just say that the characters were appropriately colored according to their genders. The show was heavily criticized, mostly by Bluey fans, for copying Bluey's art style and story concepts. But yeah, Chilla has already gotten a lot of strong criticism online, and I'm pretty sure a hate club already exists somewhere, so I'm not gonna waste more energy mentioning that show. Instead, I'm gonna talk about the other Bluey copy, a Bluey copy that most Bluey YouTubers have never even heard of. I haven't seen any major reviews of the show yet, and unlike Chilla, the show might actually be worth your time to watch. Welcome to Kunshikter. Kunshikter is a children's cartoon made by Tasqyn Studio, a relatively new but experienced production house based in Kazakhstan. In case you didn't know, it's near Russia. And speaking of Kazakhstan, the title actually consists of 2 words. Kun means son, and Kunsikter, which means puppies. Combine the words together, and you got Sunny-Puppies. By the way, if you're from Kazakhstan, please excuse my imperfect pronunciations. I also want to know your honest opinion about this show, so please drop a comment below. During the opening sequence, we're introduced to 3 young siblings. There's Sulu, the blue-dressed bookworm, Lala, the orange-dressed obstacle, and then there's Tima. And yeah, from their colors, you can kinda guess what their personalities are gonna be. Lala is the most assertive one among the 3. Orange represents optimism, creativity, and impatience. She has great interest in arts and crafts with a decent level of confidence, but in other moments, she can be quite intimidating. Sulu is blue, and blue represents calmness and relaxation. Yeah, she got none of those. Sulu is a kid with great interest in reading books, and has a high curiosity for things around her. She's a typical bookworm who occasionally geeks out with science facts, and among the 3 siblings, she's the one with the most sensitivity. By the way, the word Sulu means beautiful. Now Tima. Tima's personality is somewhere between Sulu and Lala. Tima wants to be as brave as Lala, but hasn't reached that level yet. He's curious and smart like Sulu, but quite inattentive. For now, the most unique thing about his personality is his obsession with the color that he always wears. And speaking of color, green represents... yeah, I don't know what green means. Unlike Chilla, the parents are not the main characters of the show. They're not some kind of heroes who save the day and teach the kids some lessons. Instead, they lean more towards a supporting role. Not always, but sometimes they do. The way they talk to their kids is also quite respectful. They just never talk down to them.
Мен ойыншықтарды жинадым, шаңды сырттым, еденді жудым, және ешкімді кіргізбедім. Бәрі сен үшін, анашым.
Балам, сен мен үшін ғана үйді жинаған жоқсың ғой, солай емес пе? Сен отбасымыздың үйде жақсы және жайлы сезіну үшін жинадың.
Тима, динозаврлар туралы айтып берші деп өтінген. Ал өзі болса, өзі ұйықтап қалды.
О, жаным. Оған бола уайымдаудың қажеті жоқ. Тима әлі тым кішкентай, сол үшін мұқият тыңдай алмайды.
Әдей солай істеді. Үнемі көңілі басқаға бөлініп, сөзімді бөліп, мүлде тыңдамады.
Бауырыңа қатал болма. Кішкентай кезінде сен де мені тыңдамайтынсың. Мен болсам саған айтып берейін деп, әлем халықтарының ертегілер энциклопедиясын түгел жаттап алғанмын.
Ал мен не істедім?
Сен болсаң бірден маужырап ұйықтап қалатынсың. Қара!
There are more characters in the future episodes who will support the story further, but for this video, let's just focus on these three siblings. The three children decided to have some fun before their family picnic, so they decided to play hide and seek. Sulu takes the lead in searching for the others. Lala attempted to find a hiding spot until a ladybug found her first. As Lala was discovered, the search for Tima began. He seemed to be enjoying the game a little bit too much until he realized that he perched himself high in the tree. Meanwhile, Lala was feeling quite hungry, finally found Tima up in the tree. She tells Tima to come down, but he refuses due to his fear of heights.
Тима, түсқане. Жоқ. Мама мен папа сені іздеп жүр. Жақсы онда. Сенің бөлмен бұдан былай менікі болады. Жоқ, тек бөлмем емес.
Though Lala was just teasing, Tima, being quite gullible, took her words too seriously and began to feel anxious. Poor little dude dealing with two anxieties, his acrophobia and his sister. Lala called her parents for help, proving to Tima that what she said isn't true.
Лала, Тиманы таптың ба?
Жоқ. Бірақ тапсам сендер оны жазалайсыңдар ма?
Жоқ әрине. Біз оған бірдеңе болды ма деп уайымдап тұрмыз.
Бәрінен де Тима табылса екен деп тілеп тұрмыз.
Мам, пап, мен мұндамын.
Тима?
Even when things are back to normal, Tima still asks his mom if she's going to give his room away.
Менің бөлмемді ешкімге бермейсіңдер ғой, иә?
Бермейміз, балам.
This hide and seek episode was the first episode that released after the show's pilot. Oh, and by the way, you can watch all the episodes on YouTube. Yes, no Netflix, no Disney Plus. You can watch the entire thing for free. In this episode, we'll get to know more about Sulu's and Lala's character, and Tima, of course. The scene starts when Tima is about to play with his paper ship in the bathroom. On his way, he bumps into Lala, who is looking for Sulu, who turns out to be in the tub where Tima wants to play with his ship.
Сені Лала іздеп жүр.
Білем, сол үшін осында отырмын. Неге тығылып отырсың? Енді бір жағдай болды.
After a couple of stressful flashbacks, it was revealed that Sulu was actually saying yes back to back when she actually didn't want to. She hesitantly agrees to whatever Lala is telling her to do. In other words, she's a classic people pleaser.
Oh wow! That is relatable!
After listening to his sister, Tima insists that Sulu should be honest to Lala about how she feels. If Sulu is too afraid to say no, Lala will keep forcing her to do what she wants. Or in his word,
Оған бәрін айтып беруім керек. Өзің айтпасаң, не сезіп тұрғаныңды Лала ешқашан білмейді. Кемем суға түскім келмейді десе, оны ешқашан суға салмас едім. Солай дұрыс болады.
yeah, I don't know why Tima uses that analogy, but hey, you get the point. Eventually, with her brother's support, Sulu, for the first time, tries to finally say no. She openly tells Lala that she doesn't like her music and feels uncomfortable when she plays along.
Маған мұндай музыка ұнамайды. Дауысы тым қатты. Көйлек киіп, суретке түскенде ұнамайды. Ұяламын. Ұнамаған нәрсемді жасаған да ұнамайды.
Yeah, things went smoothly in the end. The two quickly make up and try to understand each other, and finally find something that they both can agree to do together. The episode ends with Lala doing her favorite thing, which is teasing her brother. So, when was the last time you saw a cartoon that teaches personal boundaries without involving any adults at all? Or overcoming anxieties due to teasing from your sibling? As I watch more episodes of Kunshikter, I begin to appreciate more how a lesson doesn't have to be force-fed or blatantly obvious to be understood to kids, and can completely be served in a way without talking down to the viewers. But there's another thing that I noticed from the show. I realized that this show is nothing like Bluey. And no, I'm not clickbaiting you guys to watch up to this point. This cartoon is still heavily inspired by Bluey. It's just that it's not a blatant rip-off like most of the other copies. We tend to judge something new from what we see first, and that's no exception to the show. To be fair, the first impression of the show is a little bit too familiar. Like, come on, Tima's jump is obviously from Bluey, and all the character designs has apparent similarities to Trick Mood. And the credits. Just slap Dancing Bluey on the bottom left and you wouldn't see the difference. But despite all of that visual similarities, Kunsikter is built differently. Bluey focuses on imaginative play, an act of exploring creativity through role-playing. Chilla attempts to replicate this concept with various characters, but fails to capture the essence and charm that Bluey has. This show, on the other hand, isn't doing any of that. Kunsikter explores the ups and downs of siblings' relationship through realistic daily interactions. It shows how differences naturally occur, even when siblings live together, and constantly reminds the viewers that communication is the key for resolving conflicts. Yeah, this show leans more towards slice of life rather than adventure or fantasy. And speaking of slice of life, there might also be several subtle inspiration from anime, if that makes sense. Sure, the look development of Kunshikter was clearly heavily inspired by other art styles, but that doesn't stop the show from being unique in its own way. The character designs were definitely better than most other Bluey copies, the stories were short but sweet, and the message for each episode flowed naturally with the story. Another point for its originality comes from how the show expresses Kazakhstan culture, which is quite interesting since it's not widely popular around the world. Some of the apparent examples of this is their grandparents' clothes, and in some other episodes, some mentions of their traditional folklore. For a country that wasn't well known for animation, I'd say it's a pretty big step to develop a series that reaches international viewers. I mean, the last time a Kazakh animation went viral on the internet, it's this one. By the way, I wouldn't understand the show if there weren't any subtitles, so I really appreciate the English subtitles that the studio has provided. And thanks to this show, I learned 3 Kazakh words. Which means no, which means thank you, which means... But guess what? I just realized that they have an English dub just a week ago, and the show has also been retitled to Tiny Tales, which unfortunately sounds a little bit generic. To be honest, the English dub also needs some work though. Performance just doesn't hit the same note as the original. You can compare it yourself to see what I actually meant.
Мен қайтып келгенде міндетті түрде мультфильмдерді қосам. Келістік пе?
Әрине, анашым, сен үшін бәрін жасаймын.
Boys, and I'll put on some cartoons as soon as I get back. Deal?
Of course, Mommy. Anything for you.
Әзірше болмайды. Біріншіден желатин қатып мармелад сияқты болу керек. Қазір арнайы ыдыстарға қойып алайық. Сұлу, сен сондай ақылдысың.
Not yet. First, the gelatin needs to set and become gummy. Now let's pour it into the molds.
Sulu, you are so smart.
Маған портретті яқтауым керек. Шабытым бар кезде. Жоқ! Неге айғайлайсың?
I have to finish the portrait while I still have the inspiration. No!
Why are you yelling?
But hey, Dubbing a show also requires huge effort and should be appreciated, and I applaud this studio for doing so. Also, I kinda have to tell this whole English version thing in the end, cause you know, I don't want to change my whole script after discovering this channel just recently. I'm just hoping that this show won't get hated like Chilla. It deserves a wholesome fan base around the world, which, in case if you're wondering, they already exist. The production of the show, Tasqyn Studio, is barely 3 years old. Yet they already have 5 key projects where none of them has the same art style. And in 2023, one of their works won the Best Short Film Award at France Expo. Yeah, this is not your average young new amateur animation studio. These guys are serious professionals. And like every other studio with cool shows, Tasqyn Studio also sells merch, although it might be obvious that it's currently only for Kazakhstan fans. The studio has also participated in several local conventions where they share their work and connect with their fans. Some can still be seen through their Instagram highlights. With their dedication and talent, who knows? This could be their big step towards achieving worldwide popularity someday. Also, did I mention that memes are canon in this show?
Бұларың не?
Екінші тармақ.
Сүйікті кейіпкерлеріңізбен бірге жаңа хикаялар сіздер білетін боласыздар. Тима, бұл ақылға қонбай.
3-ші пункт.
Көп жаңа нәрсе. Ой, сұмдық-ай, талғамсыз.
О, мынау ең сүйіктім.
Масқара болдық.